So, in case you don't know or you've forgotten, these 2 weeks before Christmas, what all is going on today and Thursday, we will review for the midterm. And then next week on Tuesday and Thursday, we will take a midterm. Sound fantastic to everyone? So today we're going to go through what's going to be on day 1 of the midterm. We'll practice some of them and do some of those kind of things. If y'all have any specific questions or some that you're like, yeah, I'm not sure I remember how to do that, then we can certainly look at those. Look at that. That's 2 of the 4. Who else are we still missing? Jacob and Gracie. Okay. So there will be segment addition problems. So problems like number 11 on page, I'm getting there early, on page 79. So let's do that one together. Yeah, we're studying for the midterm, so we go back like all the way. Because the midterm has all the things. Isn't that exciting? So this list of today's problem types are the ones that you'll see a week from today. So this is page 79, number 11. So it says find the value of the variable xp and the measure of xp if x is between p and q. And it says the measure of xq is 13, the measure of xp is 5x minus 3, and the measure of pq is 40. What should we do first? Before we even try to do any algebra, what should we do? Yeah, draw us a little picture. That way we know what's going on. So we've got x between p and q. So we've got p and we've got q and we've got x between them. Right? And it says xq, so this one is 13. And xp is 5x minus 3. xp is 5x minus 3. And pq is 40. Right? So what kind of equation would we set up for that?
Px plus xq equals
True enough. So px is this one, right? xq is 13. And pq is 40. So now what would we do? Combine like terms. Where are they? Negative 3 and 13. So 5x plus 10 equals 40. And then? Subtract 10 from both sides. I agree. 5x equals 30. Divide by 5. And x equals 6. So that's part of the answer, but you wouldn't want to stop there, right? Because it also asks for the measure of xp. So what do we need to do now? Sub it back in. 5 times 6 is 30. Minus 3 is 27. What?
I said this is very 2 months ago.
Yes, this is very study for the midterm. So there'll be problems like that on the midterm. There will be angle addition problems on the midterm. Yeah, angle addition problems. So things like none of those. And this in the same chapter. Angle measure. I'm gonna have to go to back to a homework page. Yeah, I have to go back to a homework page. Let's see. 2-dimensional figures. Angle measure. Something like that'll work. How about page 42, number 41? Okay. So these are really similar to the one we just did, except with angles, right? Angle addition works the same way as segment addition, but with angles. So 41 says we've got, first of all, we got this big old picture drawn on there. It looks something like this. We've got, right? It tells us that BA and BC are opposite rays, which means that's a line, right? A, B, C, this one, something, E, F, H, right? On 41, it says the measure of ABF is 8S minus 6. ABF, so this one. Equals 8S minus 6. It says the measure of ABE, so this one. Is 2 times S plus 11. And we want to find the measure of angle EBF, which is this one. All right? So, let's see, what else does it tell us in the picture? It tells us this, right? Great. So, what should we do? What could we do?
Minus 6, 8S minus 6 minus 2 times S plus 11.
Because what? You're skipping, you're making a formula that's from a theorem that doesn't exist. It's right, it's just...
Because ABE is half of ABF.
There's not a theorem that says that.
Because the 2 halves are
That's what we're looking for, right? So if we're just writing a generic formula, right? ABE plus EBF equals ABF, right? Does that sound fair to everybody? Also, those are congruent. So the measure of ABE equals the measure of angle EBF. Could also say that they add up to get the total, the Bigger, one little one plus the other little one is the big one, right? Measure of A, B, E plus the measure of E, B, F equals the measure of angle ABF, right? ABE is 2 times S plus 11. Angle EBF is what we're looking for. And ABF is 8S minus 6. What should we do?
Subtract 2 times S plus 11 from both sides.
Yeah, so we could either start with distributing it or we could subtract the whole thing. Either one would work. Subtracting is fine. Distributing would also be fine. Now what would we do? Distribute the 2. 8S minus 6 minus 2S minus 22. Now what?
Combine like terms.
Yeah.
And now we add 28 to both sides.
To what sides? This equals another variable.
Just divided by 6.
Wow, that was exciting. Oof, gosh. What can we do now? What if we did this? What would let us do that?
Because ABE and EBF are congruent.
That's true.
How do we know that? From the picture?
Because the picture, it's given to us in the on the thing.
Oh, well then.
We could have done some substitution earlier and like saved ourselves a step, but it's fine. Not a problem. What should we do now? Distribute. Or divide everything by 2, that would also work. So 2S plus 11 equals 6S minus 28.
Why isn't it plus 22?
Because I didn't do that right. Now what?
We subtract 2S from both sides and add 28 to both sides.
You're really opposed to negatives on the variables, aren't you?
It just makes it easier.
Okay, so 22 plus 28 is what? 50 equals 4S. Divide by 4. And we end up with S equals what?
25 halves.
25 halves. But we're looking for EBF, so what do we need to do?
Plug it back into 2s plus.
It's true enough. Or the other one. Is it the same? Which one will be easier to plug it into?
Mike, how can we do the other one?
Well, EBF is the same as ABE. Right?
Yeah, but what is the other one?
Oh, no, you're right, because that's the big one. Yeah, no, that wouldn't work. Yeah, we do got to plug it into that. We'd have to plug it into this or this. Probably easier to plug it into this, but that's fine. Okay, 2 times 25 halves plus 11, which is 22 halves. Right? 25 halves plus 22 halves is what? 47 halves. 2 times 47 halves equals what? 47. The measure of angle E, well, that too, but EBF equals 47 degrees. Right? So there'll be some angle addition problems on the test on Tuesday. How we do it? We have any burgeoning questions yet?
For the midterm on Tuesday, what portions will it be covering?
That's literally what we're talking about today, buddy.
I know I was late.
Good. So we've gone through segment addition and angle addition.
Right.
That's all I've said so far.
So on the midterm, that half of the midterm, it'll be the first.
Everything we're talking about today will be on the first day. Right. Okay. So you'll have one where well, at least one. You'll have some where you have to find the midpoint and the distance. Let's just make up a problem with those. See what happens. Okay, so we want to find the midpoint between, midpoint and distance between. A 1, -3, and B 4, 5. So we need the two formulas, one for midpoint, one for distance. What's the midpoint formula?
A plus B divided by 2.
Not A plus B, but you're on the right track.
Y2 over x2 x1.
So we're looking for a point. That's going to give us some clue on remembering things. So it's the average of the x's and the average of the y's. So y'all are all around it. How do you find the average?
Add them all up.
Divide by how many, right? So x1 plus x2 over 2 and y1 plus y2 over 2. What about the distance formula?
Square root of, and then over parentheses, x1 plus x2 squared, or minus x2 squared, plus open parentheses, y1 minus y2 squared.
Yeah, and if you prefer to keep the subtraction ones the same on both types of formulas, this and slope formula, you can Write this as x2 minus x1, y2 minus y1. That's fine too. It's the same thing, as long as they're both the same. Okay, so midpoint over here. What goes right here?
1,
Here.
4,
How about this one?
-3, 5.
So 5 halves 1, right? That seem reasonable to everybody? Any confusion there? Okay, so we plug stuff in over here. What would go right here?
1,
And here?
4,
What about this one?
-3,
And 5. What's 1 minus 4?
-3.
Square root of -3 squared. What's -3 plus -5? -8. Now, right here is a place it would be easy to make a mistake. Where's the mistake that people will be liable to make right here?
Squared, you leave it negative.
Yeah, so what's -3 squared? 9, positive 9, right? Not -9. Because negative times a negative is a positive, right? So this is positive 9 plus 64. What's 9 plus 64? 73. Which is approximately equal to what? I will not be loaning calculators on the midterm, by the way. Bring your calculator. It's not hard. If for some reason you still don't have one, you know, they're less than $15, Walmart. You got this. 8.54. Great. How we doing? Pretty well? Nothing too scary so far?
So what is the formula that I was thinking of that is?
The slope formula, where it's
Okay.
y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. It's for slope. Yeah. Okay, so you need all of the vocabulary bits for all the stuff, which I think we're fairly good at, but just to make sure we're good, you need all of the things. Name a pair of vertical angles. 4 and 6, 12 and 2, 1 and 11, etc. Right? Yeah? Where's a linear pair? 1 and 2 is a linear pair. 11 and 12 is a linear pair. Where else is a linear pair? 7 and 8. Where else? 6 and 5, 8 and 9. That's where I was trying to get some. Where it goes this way too. So 8 and 9, 4 and 5, 3 and 6, 7 and 10, 1 and 2, 11, 12, 2 and 11, 1 and 12, right? All those bits, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. How are vertical angles related? They're congruent. So the measure of angle 7 equals the measure of angle 9, right? So if we were trying to do some math and figure out some stuff with those angles, you would set this one equal to that one, right? How are linear pairs related? They're supplementary. So the measure of angle 4 plus the measure of angle 5 equals 180, right? So if it's a linear pair, they have 180, right? Yeah, easy money, right? Let's do one example with this picture. If the measure of angle 8 equals, and I'm just making this up, so if we're lucky, we'll make one that works. If not, then, good job. How about 2x minus 10? And the measure of angle 9 equals 32. Solve for x. What should we do?
2x minus 10 plus 32 equals 180.
Great. What now?
Combine like terms.
So negative 10 plus 32 is what? Now what?
Subtract 22.
So 2x equals negative 4. Divide by 2. So x ends up equaling what? Oh, there we go. That's going to make more sense. 158 divided by 2, which is going to be 79. That makes much more sense. Because then 79 times 2 minus 10 would be the measure of angle 8, which is much more reasonable, right? Easy money? Haven't done anything that scary? Not such a big deal? Y'all ready for Christmas yet? Yes. You just had Thanksgiving. Calm down.
It wasn't long enough.
Wasn't long enough. Okay, so we will also have problems like, it's weird that that's out of order. I wonder why I did that. Who knows? I'm sure there was a reason at the time. You will have ones to where you have to turn something into a conditional statement, or a conditional statement into an if-then statement. In if-then form. So something like fried chicken tastes good when it's from Popeyes. If you say cap about that, you're dumb. Who doesn't like Popeyes? Like literally, who doesn't like Popeyes? Seriously. Like Popeyes, especially in Lubbock, if you're like, okay, they're slow and liable to get my order wrong, so I better check it. Okay, we can agree with that. But they do your food right. It's delicious. That's good stuff. But anyway, it doesn't matter. We're not asking for the truth value. Fried chicken tastes good and it's from Popeyes. We need to turn this into if-then form. Oh, look, I marked up my book. Good job, me. So how would we do that?
If chicken is from Popeyes, then it's good.
Right. If fried chicken is from Popeyes, then it's good. So, get those problems right on the test because there shouldn't be that hard. All right. That's 16 points worth of problems. So, at least on this current version, there's at least a couple problems that need to be reworked because I made 2 problems that were impossible apparently last year, but I will fix it for you guys. But that's 16 points that you're just give me if you just study a little, fractional on those. Great, we love that. There will also be problems. Keep on going. Where's a good chunk of them? That'll work, I think. Let's see, let me compare that to the... It's great. I think let's do one from a homework problem. That'll be better. Perpendiculars and distance. That would be mean to put one of those on the on the midterm, but I won't. Mean is fun, but there's a limit at some point. By the way, nobody has thought to ask yet. The midterm goes in as a couple of tests. So it counts the same as a regular test. Doesn't count more or less. It's about the same. No, it goes in, all the tests are in a big box, yeah? So all of the tests are worth 35% of your grade. All of them, including the corrections ones. So the midterm doesn't actually count for a ton of your grade, but it does count for some. So let's do page 19. No, that doesn't make sense. Page 211, number 19. So, okay, so we're supposed to find x so that m and n are parallel. That's these ones, right? And we're supposed to identify the postulate or theorem that was used. So, what are they? They are because they're what? Yeah, they're same side interior, right? So since they're same side interior, they're supplementary. So the reason why we can do what we're about to do is the converse of same side interior, right? We got half our answer already. Easy money. So since they're supplementary, what kind of equation should we write?
7x minus 2 plus 10 minus 3x equals 90.
180. $90 is complementary. Okay, now what? Combine like terms. Looks good. What's 7x minus 3x?
4x.
And negative 2 plus 10.
8.
Now what?
Subtract 8.
So 4x equals 172. Now what do we do? Divide by 4. X equals 43. Easy money? Okay. See what else is on day one. Slope between 2 points. Yeah. So the slope formula, the one you were remembering earlier. I'm gonna kind of make this a multi-stage problem. I'm gonna get 2 problem types in one. So we're gonna start with the instructions. Find the slope between -3, -1, and -2, 4. So what's the slope formula?
y2 minus y1 over x. What is that slope?
What's going to go right here?
Negative. Or yeah.
4. And here?
-1,
What about this one?
-2, -3.
Now what? Ka-chink, ka-chink. Both of them. What's 4 plus 1? And -2 plus 3? 1. So the slope is 5. Great. So then another problem would say, what?
You don't need to find that equation.
So well, that problem, that's all it's asking for. But another problem might say find the equation of the line which passes through these ones. So step 1 would be the same, right? Step 1 would be to find the slope. Now that we found the slope, what would we do then to find the equation?
Y equals 5x plus b.
Okay, so it's slope-intercept form, right? Now what would we do?
Or negative 2 for x.
What are we going to put right here?
4.
And this one?
-2.
Now what?
4 equals -10 plus b.
And then add 10, both sides. So b equals 14. Now what? So y equals 5x plus 14. Okay. So those are pretty easy. You will also have at least one where you have to find the equation of a line that passes a point and is either parallel or perpendicular to another line. I think we've got plenty of time to do one of each today. Yeah. So, find the equation of the line that passes through (0, -1) and is parallel to y equals negative 4/3 x minus 643. So, the fact that the line we're looking for is parallel to this line, what does that tell us? Slope is the same. So our slope is what? Negative 4/3. So now what?
Negative 1 equals negative 4/3, 0 plus b.
Now what?
We just take out that section.
B equals negative 1. Now what?
Y equals negative 4/3 x minus 1.
Great. That's it. That's easy money. Okay, you might also possibly have one like this. Find the equation of the line that passes through 8, negative 2, and is perpendicular to y equals 1/2 x minus 4. So, the fact that our line is perpendicular to that line tells us what?
The opposite reciprocal.
Yeah, our slope is the opposite reciprocal of that slope, right? So our slope is what?
Negative 2.
Great. And then we're going to plug that into slope-intercept form just like we've been doing before. So negative 2 equals negative 2 times 8 plus b. Negative 2 times 8 is? Negative 16 plus b equals negative 2. Add 16 to both sides. B equals 14. Now what? Yeah. Don't forget to put the correct slope in there. I've seen people make the mistake of doing everything right and then accidentally putting that slope in the answer. So make sure you put the slope that belongs with our line, not the one that's perpendicular to. Make sense to everybody? That's it. That's all it's going to be on day one. Those things right there.
And what lessons does that cover?
It covers things through Unit 3. Any questions? Let's take a quiz. No, I'm just kidding.
I was like, excuse me? No, these are the wall.
Your homework is to study for the midterm.
That's crazy.
This midterm compared to other tests is pretty easy. Really, everybody in here is capable of making an A, if not A plus, if you study. So, you do you, but I would recommend studying.